The H2O Canoe Company asked me to attend the Outdoor Adventure Show to put on some precision paddling demonstrations using some of their new canoes. While there, I did 5 sessions in total. Most of them were quite crowded, but this was the last session on Sunday. I chose to videotape it just because it was easier to walk around with the camera and not fight with the crowds. While there, I did a number of demonstrations. In order to make it easy for people to understand what was going on, I demonstrated what the paddle was going to be doing underwater, but did it above water so they could see. Here I'm demonstrating how to move the canoe sideways towards your paddling side. This is a different camera angle so you can better see the demonstration. Moving the canoe in the opposite direction is a bit harder. The movements are the same, but the pitch, the angle on the paddle is in the opposite direction. This is a bit more challenging as it takes a bit more effort to move the canoe sideways. As you probably note, I start by going sideways away from my paddling side, and then I finish the demonstration by moving it back to my paddling side. One move that's kind of challenging to do is an L-shaped pattern, and what I'm doing is moving the canoe parallel to the wall on the pool, and then I keep the bow of the canoe anchored at that point, but now I'm shifting it sideways, and then I'll finish it by moving parallel to the L-shaped wall on the opposite side. The trick in this is to slow the canoe down and pivot it so that the bow winds up staying in exactly the right spot, and then swinging the stern of the canoe around, keeping the bow in the same spot, and then moving it across along the wall. That's a real challenge. Another move I demonstrated was a side slip. This one is done away from my paddling side. The trick is to plant the paddle with a bit of pitch, and it moves the canoe sideways yet keeps it running in a straight line. Something fancy to try is doing a bow pivot only using one hand. The key to that is finding the real sweet spot where the paddle locks against the gunwale, much like an oarlock would do in a rowboat. A very useful and elegant stroke is called the silent stroke, sometimes also referred to as the hunting stroke. For every time the paddle goes through the water in a power phase, the paddle has rotated 180 degrees. In between, the paddle slides forward through the water in a slicing motion and just glides effortlessly. I'm exaggerating the moves right now so that the crowd can see what I'm doing. When I'm finished the power stroke at the end, my top hand gets loose, I rotate the paddle, and then slide it forward. Top hand is loose, I rotate the paddle, slide forward. By doing this stroke, it's easy to control direction on the canoe, left or right, and you can apply drawing strokes or pry strokes or J strokes or all kinds of variations and have ultimate control of the canoe. This is a better angle to see what I'm showing the crowd. I'm exaggerating the movement so they can see it. Top hand is loose, bottom arm is gripped and rotates. Top hand loose, bottom arm grips and rotates, and then slides forward. The Alpha is a new canoe that's been introduced to the H2O lineup. It's quite a change from some of the canoes that they've built in the past. This one is designed to be great for whitewater tripping, and it's also an excellent canoe to paddle solo. You may notice that the sides are tumble-homed in the middle, but flared in the front and back. That makes a canoe that pops out of big waves with no problem at all. I love this canoe, it's awesome.